driving. Hope comes and stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
All right, good evening, everyone. Hope everybody's having a good night. Just got done with a podcast. Jamie Tall. It's been a while since I've done a podcast, so my brain's a little fried, but I kind of still felt like talking. So, that might be kind of cool. Come on and maybe start doing some tradition stuff, covering the traditions. But I'd like to do is not do them through the 12 by 12, but through a book called The Language of the Heart, which is Bill W.'s Grapevine readings. And it kind of goes over each one here. They're not too awfully long. So I thought I could cover tradition 1 and see what we find out. This is a little bit different way. So if you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. And get this up in chat. Always had podcasts going on. You can find it there on our podcast. So, tradition 1. So, we should probably read what tradition 1 is first, right? Our common welfare should go first. Our common welfare should come first. Personal recovery depends upon AA unity. Now I'm going to switch over to the language of the heart here. My Facebook user. Wish I quit doing that stuff, but if you let me know who you are, that's awesome. Tradition 1. Our whole AA program is securely founded on the principle of humility, that is to say, perspective, which implies, among other things, that we relate ourselves rightly to God and to our fellows, that we see ourselves as we really are, a small part of a great whole. Seeing our fellows thus, we shall enjoy a group harmony. That is why AA tradition can confidently state our common welfare comes first, right? Because if the common welfare doesn't come first, then AA will cease to exist, and then nobody has it, right? So we have to take care of it first. Does this mean some will ask that in AA the individual doesn't count too much? Is he to be swallowed up, dominated by the group? Nope. I'll let you know, okay? Absolutely not. Okay. With that being said, don't be scared to put it. Why is there a unicorn on my desk? Wife. She had some cleated up. Now I got a unicorn on my. Oh, that's not a unicorn. That's just a horse. I like to give my wife a hard time. Hey, Jeff, good to see you, dude. So, no, you are not going to be swallowed up, okay? But I would recommend that you put in some service work, chair some meetings, do some things, man. Don't just be a bump on a fucking log. Oh, well, they're just taking everything. Well, maybe you should ask. Or start your own. If you need to start your own meeting, let me know. I'll show you how. It's actually pretty easy. It takes two alcoholics and a big book. That's all it requires. No, it doesn't seem to work out that way. Perhaps there is no society on earth more solicitous of personal welfare, more careful to grant the individual the greatest possible liberty of belief and action. Alcoholics has no musts. Few AA groups impose penalties on anyone for nonconformity. We do suggest, but we do not discipline. Instead, compliance or noncompliance with any principle of AA is a matter for the conscience of the individual. He is the judge of his own conduct. Those words of the old time, judge not, we observe most literally. And so you go out and you're like, yeah, I'm a member of AA, and you're just out being a jerk and everything. That's not what we want, right? In fact, the best way to do it is just tell people you either don't drink or you belong to a 12-step group. Oh, you're an AA, man. No. And just, you don't need to make that big of a deal of it. Okay? It is who you are now. That's all. Then there's nothing wrong with that. But, some will argue, if AA has no authority to govern its individual members or groups, how shall it ever be sure that the common welfare does come first? How is it possible to be governed without a government? If everyone can do as he pleases, how can you have aught but anarchy? Yeah, that's what you would think that you would get. But our best thinking got us here. So guess what? You're wrong again. Okay? I call that contempt prior to investigation. That means that you made a judgment on it before you even looked into it. Did you even Google shit? Did you do anything? Or did you just pull it out of your fancy little brain? Okay? Did you do anything intentional? Dad, see, I knew it. There's a hole there. This was a unicorn. I know a unicorn when I see one, darn it. The answer seems to be that we AAs cannot really do as we please. We cannot. Nope. There are changes that I want to make in my group. My group don't want to make them. I still think I'm right. But I'm not going to argue the point. If it turns out we need to go that route, then I'm ready. If it turns out that we don't need to go that route, then things are set up. So what? It doesn't matter that I'm the GSR. That doesn't mean shit. Okay? It just means that I have to run a meeting once a month. And I go to another meeting. Okay? And then I bring that information back. That's it. That doesn't mean I get to make any decisions. I don't want to make any decisions. It's part of why I go to AA, so I don't have to make any more fucking decisions for the day. Maybe I'll hit a 7 o'clock meeting. I think I may do that. All right. So the answer seems to be that we AAs cannot really do as we please, though there is no constituted human authority to restrain us. Actually, our common welfare is protected by powerful safeguards. You would be amazed if you fuck with AA. Oh man, the karma that will come down on your head would be hot, man. Don't fuck with AA. That's just silly. The moment any action seriously threatens the common welfare, group opinion mobilizes to remind us. Our conscience begins to complain. If one persists, he may become so disturbed as to get drunk. Alcohol gives him a beating. Group opinion shows him that he is off the beam. His own conscience tells him he is dead wrong, and if he goes too far, barleycorn brings him real conviction. Barleycorn being alcohol. So it is we learn that in matters deeply affecting the group as a whole, our common welfare should come first. Rebellion ceases and cooperation begins because it must. We have disciplined ourselves. So if you look in the book, there's a part in there that says we are undisciplined. And we need to be disciplined. That doesn't mean grounded, beaten with a belt, or anything else. That's not what that means. Discipline means that you have a set of moral and codes that you follow. That when your alarm goes off, you get up. You have a regiment. That would be another good word for it. Eventually, of course, we cooperate because we really wish to. We see that without the substantial unity, there can be no AA. And that without AA, there could be little lasting recovery for anyone. We gladly set aside personal ambitions whenever these might harm AA. We humbly confess that we are but a small part of a great whole. And there's nothing wrong with being a small part of a great whole. thinking maybe we could, because I got a little bit of time here, I was thinking I could read the, no, this tradition one isn't very long anyway, so let's just read the last paragraph. Last couple. Countless times in as many cities and hamlets, we reenacted the story of Eddie Rickenbacker and his courageous company when their plane crashed in the Pacific. Okay, just making sure that they didn't like tell a story and we ended it or something. Like us, they had suddenly found themselves safe from death, but still floating on the perilous sea. How well they saw that their common welfare came first. None might be selfish or of water or bread. Each needed to consider the others, and abiding faith, they knew that they must find their real strength. And as they did this, and they did find, in measure to transcend all the defects of their frail craft, every test of uncertainty, pain, fear, and despair, and even the death of one. Thus it has been with AA. By faith and works, we are able to build upon the lessons of an incredible experience. They live today in the 12 traditions of Alcoholics Anonymous, which, God willing, shall sustain us in unity for so long as He may need us. Well, so far that's been pretty close to 100 years. We're at 90 years of Alcoholics Anonymous being around. You know that? In 10 years, when 100-year mark, I hope I'm around. And it's still going. It's still the same, right? We may need to change some of the verbiage to work with, how we're doing the he, she kind of thing now. But other than that, it doesn't need to be changed. It still tells us the same thing. So, all right, guys, I'll be here tomorrow for daily reflection. Thank you guys for being here. I love you. Peace out and have a day.